Good morning. Happy Friday. All right. So, market's got a little bit of a reprieve, defibrillator shock. Got the heart pumping again yesterday. That was a pretty big gap down. Unusually, I guess, historically, gap down for the indices on a day to day. So, got the bounce, and we saw the earnings on Microsoft and such. Kind of that really brought it back from the dead, Microsoft. But look, the key thing is, interest rates here. And we've been talking about that forever. The trend is up. They're down here a little bit. You know, markets are up on, the move in Microsoft. Just looking to the left, what's over here. First of all, they're stuck for the moment at those overlapping opens and closes right over there to the left. So if I squish this up, you're going to see a little consolidation that it's dealing with. And then, ultimately, you know, we continue to monitor, but, the move is just looking to the left again, a move up into this area, which should keep pressure on equities as long as this continues to push higher. And that's what we'll continue to look at in the coming weeks. Um, the fact that these are going up, and yesterday morning, we kept the the stream going, and you heard the commentary I was saying in the green room here. Hey, you know what? This gap down, what was happening? Semiconductors are holding up here really, really well. They're showing relative strength. Now, that doesn't change the big picture, what's going on in the broader markets and a correction that's ongoing. But, this is a positive sign and kind of leads more toward, in my mind, my expectations of a correction eventually, maybe retesting this low. And that might be the end of it, even if it makes a lower low. So as we look at historical downtrends and vertical moves like this, right, we know that here, that big down move, the big wide range bar causes the void, and it's the weakest link and kind of continue to retrace up in there. When it gets into what I'll refer to as the kill zone, as it comes into those converging moving averages and give or take, a minor resistance area, what does it do here today? Things are up, a bit. They're backing off a little bit, but what do they do here today? Does this turn into a down day? Does it go sideways? So we need more information. So it's still the dead cat bounce. It's coming into that kill zone area. We still got a nasty wide range bar. So far, prices have retraced, give or take 50% into a resistance area on the semiconductor index. Where does this end the day? Of course, the hourly big move down. It's at resistance. Where is it here? Up near yesterday's high. So not too much going on there. And we'll see how that plays out. Take a peek at the futures for a moment. You can see big drop, schizo price action, up in resistance here. The reaction to the news this morning, pop up, back down, sellers taking advantage of a move up to lighten up. So how this forms, call it a bear flag, a grind up into the resistance area. We now wait to see if we can get a reversal day in here. So more flip-flopping around. We'll see as we get into next week. There's a turn in this area. Would be the expectation, regardless of news or anything else. Big nasty drop, came down near support, coming up to resistance, wait for some kind of reversal bar or sideways price action. Right? We don't know. What we do know is this suggests it's going to go lower. It's bounced up into resistance where there's going to be more sellers. What's it going to do here? We wait for further direction from the price action. You can see this morning, the pop up got sold into. It's just whipping around there. We'll see how it plays out. Spiders, nice reversal day. It was a big gap down. Meta came off of the low, but still seriously damaged. But at Green Day, where is it? Gapping up into that area. So for right now, this just looks like Mr. Schizophrenia just kicking and screaming. I don't want to go down. I'm not going to do it. After, getting punished here, filling the first void and just trading back and forth within this mess. Still at the lower part of the wide range bar. Do we going to get a bearish 1, 2, 3? We'll find out as we go into next week, whether whatever it's going to be. We'll find out when we get into that next week. SPX, nothing got touched yesterday. It's rare that any of these strikes get touched. That doesn't mean it's a no-brainer. Certainly day to day appears to be a no-brainer that the strikes that we pick, but look, every once in a while it happens, but being a little more active intraday to pick your spots, like yesterday was, okay, as this comes up into the prior day's low, right, that pivot right there is where the momentum should stall. Now, that took a while to get up there, so there's going to be some deterioration in premiums. So picking the most opportune spot doesn't always relate to the same amount of premium, but that's just part of option trading, kind of that balance. Now, let's see where things are at from what I wrote down before for today. So with yesterday's move, today should be a no-brainer on the upside. Hold on. Because they pump up that juice big time. Or it was 51.40, so let's call it 51.35. And you can go lower. You decide what's reasonable. So it's just gapping up a little bit. Can it get up there in between those moving averages today? Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. 5,000. What's with those strikes? 5,000. Of course, 5,000 is going to be like a monster level. To come back down there today. Fridays, Fridays have been, some activity in the morning and things have kind of gone dead most days in the afternoon for the most part. It's probably what we're in for again. So I highly doubt either one of these will get hit. That's so far up, so far away. So picking 51.25, which would be significant premiums there for sure. Anyway. Hold on a second. Sorted by volume. 51. Yeah, that's juicy. $1.80 by $1.90. So, no brainer. Probably a no brainer. In that area. And of course, you can go smaller distance between the strikes. All right, cues. Of course, the big move up and And here's the gap. It's kind of giving it up a little this morning here, a little bit, but coming up into minor resistance. There's going to be more and more sellers there. It's just whipping around. You can see the mess. And here we have just, yesterday's price action. At the end of the day there on that earnings, a void that was created. The prices could fall back quite a bit. We shall see. Let's look at IWM. Just a big mess. A big mess. As we look at IWM, I like to look at biotech, which yesterday afternoon in the green room, and hey, maybe this could form a little W type of bottom. It's too early to tell, but it is down a whole bunch. It's on the 200 MA. There really isn't any significant support, but if we can get a big green bar down here, we'll see how that plays out or not. IWM, the strength from the regionals moving up, that's likely over. It's into that resistance area. Hey, Chris, thank you. Let me those in the green room are wondering, what am I talking about? All right. Energy. Again, an influence. Kind of weird pattern. Kind of coming down with this momentum move and kind of like a bear flag, but it's in an uptrend. Just the way it's grinding like that. I think part of that is the uncertainty of what's happening in the Middle East, and then energy pulling back like it did, and that sort of grinding its way to the upside. OIH, better pattern. It did come down harder, but it's got this base here, and it still hasn't been able to clear these highs. And you can see on the hourly chart, but if it can, you want to keep an eye on, this oil service sector and those stocks that are in there, that they should be able to bounce. So, just set an alert. Look at the stocks that are in there, and you'll find opportunities. Gold up a little here. The inflation thing is not going away. All these, we've talked about this the last few weeks. What are they looking at? And now you start to hear more people, murmur the possibility of a rate increase. And now you start, when you hear the ones that are saying, that they're caught and scared to death now. But when you hear these people on CNBC saying, you know what? Maybe we don't need 2%. Maybe we just have to get used to the fact that it's going to be higher, and that's the way it's going to be. No, it's not the way it should be, but it's an election year. We'll see. Maybe there's always that risk that they're going to do what they shouldn't do. So Russell flip-flopping around here, on that support. Financials, into its own little kill zone, retracement up into this area. Weekly still looks like at some point sellers are going to take control after the wide range bar down. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the yen. I mean, just in a free fall collapse. And I'm just scrolling this over. There's no more data here in this particular platform, but just breaking down the implications of that, I'm not so sure. But my goodness. Euro coming into a sell area. So we're looking reasons for the dollar to start moving up. The bearish influencers in the markets have been the dollar going up, suggesting a belief that the Fed is not going to cut. They're going to hold steady. And interest rates going up, inflation being stubborn, stagflation. Yeah. So, the Dow. And let's look at the Dow futures for a moment. They were the weaker, closer to got toward that resistance area and down, and look, it's breaking down already. So that looks like it's going lower. So that looks like a decent setup for an intraday short, day trade short right there. So again, some price movement jiggles around here first thing in the morning, and then keep an eye on those tech stocks, Microsoft and such, gapping up, and how they handle things, and probably later in the afternoon it's just going to go dead again, but we'll see how it plays out. All yours, Dan.
Okay. Last night, yeah, I saw those two just flying on earnings. Google all-time high. But what's interesting this morning with the Qs, with those two and the Qs ripping. I mean, look at this Google. It was just, if you looked at post-market data yesterday, just ripping to all-time highs. So it's going to be a little more difficult for these gaps to do zero DTE trades. But one of my strategy, I mean, Greg mentioned the diamonds. Yeah, that looks great because it's just a clean new setup. Doesn't care about the market gap. But on these excessive gap trades, I'm just putting them in the category of fade 30-minute high low as an excessive gap. So this one too, 30-minute low. Let's look to do a call spread. Microsoft, just a big old gap. It actually gapped over here, which is bullish, but it's just a big gap in a downtrend. So 30-minute low, call spread idea. But the other point I was going to make with Q's up so much, uh, it's only, I mean, semis are flat. 212. Greg, how do you get rid of this stupid thing? All right, 213. So that's not a big gap on SMH, but look at that. These other fangs are pretty flat. No, that's not up a lot. 50 cents. Well, I guess Amazon's up, but Meta's down. Netflix flat. Tesla down. So it's like weird. What's holding the Qs up here other than these two big monsters? AMD, NVIDIA up a little bit. All right, well, let's continue. Yeah, a lot of oils are down. DJT, we did a half lot yesterday. Up alarm just went off. So that looks good. So I'll be looking to get in another half lot. GNRC up alarm. We're short I forget the 118 puts, something far away into earnings on LYB, but let's just go right to earnings. I had a couple of alarms go off on earnings stocks, but we'll just hit them here from the top. Intel, what a piece of garbage. It popped here when Biden decided to give them $6-7 billion. But look, the weekly monthly is a poster child of this thing cannot compete with the new technology. And now it's gapping down $3 on earnings. Pathetic. used to be, one of our top 5 trading stocks in the late 90s. Not anymore. Competition ate them up. All right. Sam, I know that you were thinking of doing a earnings trade on Snap. Well, I actually did sell naked puts on Microsoft myself. That's the only one I did. Um, but I didn't do any others. I've been burned on this thing before on earnings. So I put this on the do not trade list of selling options into earnings. And look at this month. That's a monster gap up. They decided to report a profit, but what the heck am I going to do with it? I don't know. I got no interest. Guild, power downtrend. This would be a great 1, 2, 3 for Monday. WDC, no pattern. Could be a 0 DT put spread. Well, Patrick, we can talk more about it later. But my point is, this talk about ending TikTok has been going on for weeks, if not months. So that should already be priced in. I just don't believe that a 25% gap up on that. Oh, is that? I don't know. Well, we could talk about it later. All right, T-Duck. T-Duck is in a bearish downtrend, gapping down a lot, but 30-minute low looks lower. Doc gapping up. Put spread idea, the 18s, if there's any juice. Roku's been a dog for a while. It looked like it might have been the start of a breakdown failure, but now it's back to being a dog. Gapping near the low of yesterday, no interest. TMOS, no pattern. AEM, big gap up, but no pattern. TXCM down 5, 133. There's no pattern there. It's an ugly gap. It's not a good candidate for 0 DTE. And this Echo Whiskey, I show one print down here on support. We can find better. Juniper, 30-minute high would be a put spread idea. Let me set an alarm at 35.20. Whiskey Tango. Yeah, that's a nice gapper. Sure. Yeah, I don't need Microsoft here. So yeah, Whiskey Tango looks good. Cough, a bank, no pattern, up and down a little bit. Tango Sierra down 35.61. It's a big gap down though. Cold bottoming pattern. Keep an eye on it for next week. NOV. Okay, so this is opening flat up in nickel. So this is a fantastic put spread idea and long over yesterday's high. I'll put this in a window. Oh, YouTube is asking about, Carl's asking about Saber. Yeah, it's a breakout candidate. Set an alarm. I'll set an alarm 280.
Earnings are next week.
What?
Earnings are next week. I mean, it's far enough away to play the breakout. Pointing that out.
SKX, $67, excessive gap. So that would be another one, 0 DTE, call spread under the low. Foxtrot Echo, I don't see any prints. I don't like the way it trades, but it's overall bullish. 90% retracement into resistance and hanging in there. But I got enough to watch. Tex, $63. Put spread idea. Team, that is a nasty gap down. Daily, weekly. That's, I mean, ideally, this would have opened flatter up and would have been a fantastic day trade long and zero DT put spread, but it's not what we got, is it? All right, so here's the ones, Alex, I typed. Whiskey Yankee, potential double bottom, new low plus. So I had an alarm up here somewhere. I forget what number. I don't see much volume, so I don't trust it. Troll alarm, same. W bottom, new low plus. My alarm just went off. Put spread idea. And Mohawk. These are all very similar looking. Double bottom, new low plus, up alarm. My alarm at 112 went off. So those are all very similar patterns. A Delta 20 UNP gap. But you have to tell me what you're thinking, Delta 20. It's not jumping out at me. It's a bullish gap, bullish close. There's no pattern on the weekly. For me, the 15-minute breakout might be okay. Why Juniper put spread? Well, because it's a climactic buy setup. And if it can trade over this yesterday's base, I'll be looking for a zero DTE put spread where we collect the money and call a low for the day. UL, yeah, Delta 20, you got to tell me what you're thinking. You're just giving me this symbol. I have no idea what you're thinking, none. It's not a pattern that we would do anything with unless it's just a day trade off the 15. ARR gapping up with no pattern. VeriSign. Look, I don't like the way this thing trades. I hate just overlapping bars, up, down, up, up. You're better off just trading the 20 and the 50 MA on this chart. But it shows it down to 180. It's bearish. It's bearish and a bearish downtrend. HIG shows it down $2. We'll come back to it. I need more volume. That's a nice closing breakout. This would be a good 1, 2, 3 if it sets up. M&M, possible breakdown failure. If it can get over Wednesday's high, breakdown failure with a void, but nothing right now. Oh, Alex. All right, RHI doing nothing. TBBK alarm. Not rushing into it. Possible higher low. Alex asking about ALK. It's a buy setup. I'll put it on the list. And then, I was looking at Sam's Delta. There's a 1, 2, 3 for Monday. Uptrend, red bars ignored. Power engulfing bar yesterday. NOV up alarm. That's the one I said I liked a lot, but I am not chasing. But beautiful pattern. If you can get any juice for the 1850s for next week, I'm not going to bother looking, but if my option traders want to look. All right, Boyd, excessive gap. I'll watch this 30-minute high. Zero DT put spread if they exist. PFG, ugly gap. Home, gap's too big. There's Mohawk, there's Boyd. ACCD, no pattern. AJ. So this one, I'm going to set an alarm 237.50 because then it'll be a buy setup after a deep retracement. And then just set an alarm and move on. So this Whiskey Tango Alex, obviously I have zero interest in it now. I gave up the gap. Greg, your fresh alarm went off. Let me set a new higher alarm. This is the bottoming pattern. Watch. I'll set An alarm 1862. SMR alarm went off. Nice. This is beautiful pattern Alex found for us. And I said you could add on that 1, 2, 3. Let's move stop break even now. And we have a full lot on this and earnings. Oh no, wrong stock, never mind. Yeah, we have a full lot in earnings on 5.9. Give a first target. First 1/3 target is 6.25. Yeah, help me what call. Yeah. Check call spreads. I told you, excessive gaps. Microsoft, Google, call spreads, check them out. Zero DTE. I'm busy going through alarms here, but let me look. I mean, those gaps are so impressive, massive, but for you to not want to take some profit, I think you got rocks in your head. Oh shit, most up 562. Here, the stop is break even. HAG. Look, see, look, it did exactly what I didn't predict it, but I was hoping to be a trade of interest. Look, snapped right back and took out this neckline, and it's a bullish daily. So HAG looks great. It's only 934 though. All right, so Google, let me check the 180s maybe for today. Yeah, we're already in. We've been in Hua for a month, but I'll look. My alarm didn't go off. All right, the 180s are only 12 cents. There's juice at the 175s, Greg, whenever you think it's safe on Google. Microsoft, since it fell so much pre-market, we have to wait and see how much it bounces. But that would be the, 417s, 73 cents. So there is juice on this one too, 417.50s. We're 17. Right now it's 79. So Greg, if you can help watch this one.
What do you want to do?
I could just type you. both places.
Watch 17. Let's see, just do it. It's above the moving averages. Look at
Okay.
how much it's retraced already.
Oh, shoot, wrong text. Um, but yeah, so Don, yeah, I mean, we had the right bias. Roku has the biggest ugly down bar, oil down. Wow, our OIHs. This is interesting, Greg. Our OIH is holding up like a tank with XLE and XOP 15-minute charts, which left click. It doesn't work, Greg. It just highlights it.
You got to hold down on the green area or whatever. Mine is, you have the controls. Let me see.
Oh, okay. Okay, what it did. All right. All right. Okay, I got it to do a pop down. Okay. All right. So that worked. Thanks. Because yeah, it only started recently. All right, Sedger. Sedger, we're stopping out. This is we're trail stopping the short, but at a profit. We took a third at the low yesterday. Greg, you want fresh over the high or wait for Monday?
Like it's a bottoming pattern. Not going anywhere too fast.
So wait for Monday. Trump. We have a half lot in at 39. Cube up alarm.
BBT and the dollar moving down a little bit. So I mean, it's just kind of messy here. So well, market wise, it has the opportunity to go higher. Just whipping around here.
Hey, do
When I
you
say
want
opportunity, I see, the S&Ps, if they can go sideways after this gap up, futures are a mess. So stay away for now.
this is a short idea. Cube, that's horrible. All right, so this LYB I mentioned, nice gap over that base. No brainer put spread, possible directional 30-minute high. There's no weeklies. And there's no even dollars, only the hundreds and 95s. But this could be a swing up to 104. It's may not wait for us. But it looks good. Cap over red bar. I like it. Be a fantastic put spread if they have different things. All right, this Rexer has been lagging. I'll watch this for a Climo for next week with a new low retest. Edgar, we're out. Sierra Romeo alarm. Sam, that's yours. 30-minute high, maybe. Greater than 100%. Bullish price action. So they're out now to 23.65. Yeah, that thing is so strong. I would want it to take out the low for sure. I mean, that's all-time highs, and I would never do it for next week, only for today. Alpha India, remember that was on my Climo watch last week. We never got filled on the put spread. And remember this GNRC? I said core long. We have a naked put, but I absolutely love this monthly as a bottoming pattern. Let's see how much we're up on our put. We have the 119 puts.
SMH is moving up. It's a little resistance intraday here, but they can hold up. I'll wait, make sure it's not a little breakout failure. Maybe NVIDIA taking out the high of the day could be what a good add-on information so far. It's hanging here above the open. It's got bottoming tail bars on the 5.
GNRC looks great, but we made a quick gain. Avoid earnings.
Dan, look at boot. I'm not moving too much, but it recovered from that dip the other day.
Sure do. I think his proper name is called Das Boot.
Dot boot?
Tell him, Alex. Thank you.
Das boot. Uh-huh. Oh, it's a movie. Das boot.
Yeah, think about German sub, right? Yeah, was it German or Russian? I don't know. All right, Saber alarm, bottoming pattern. The guy on YouTube mentioned. Let's say Alex and Don. Remember we were talking about Siri as a bottoming pattern, and we were talking about my level of confidence of it making the turn and so forth. And I said, you know, you might get lucky. I don't know. But I have so much more confidence in this going up than I did Siri. I haven't looked at Siri all week. See, this is right where we were talking about it. See? And I said, I don't have any confidence in this power down trend. But just look at the beautiful moving averages. The moving averages are amazingly different story. Well, I don't care. No, no, I'm not saying that, Don. We're having an intelligent conversation on the two setups is all. Came down, look at the distance, 20 to the 50. That's telling me you got a climo, breakdown failure here, breakout, two inside bars, price void. Looks good. Looks good. Earnings spike two. This AJG that I just took away there. Okay, see, so I didn't chase it, but set a new alarm. Meta. Could be absolutely it is a 1, 2, 3. Sure, sure, sure. It's a gap reversal, wide range bar, inside bar. Sure, absolutely.
Have to wait for Monday for it to trigger.
Um, let's move stop break even because this guy can get crazy on us.
See the gap up and snap?
Mm-hmm.
It's got like it gapped down a couple of months ago, a huge amount. Now it's gapping up. It's basically in the middle of no man's land.
Yeah, I told Sam pre-market that that stock has burned us before on earnings trades.
CMCI
Khaki?
was the dip into the gap fill was bought. Looks like you're willing to give it a big ass stop. Big ass stop. You know what that is, Dan? A big ass.
Mm-hmm. Sure do. SMR cruising. Hey, it just made first target, first third target. But my alarm didn't go off, so hold on, let me verify this. Yeah. All right, there's my alarm. Jeez, finally. Yeah, so first third target met.
After the close, Alex.
For 30. No, 4:30. See, Alex,
Next week.
if Greg had a superior platform like we do, he wouldn't have to ask you that. That's right there.
It's right on TC 2000. I see it.
Yeah, Q's holding very well. I think we're going 20 MA next stop.
SMH is moving up. They got room to the converging 20 and 50.
Without a doubt today even. Let's see if we can do a
Some
210.
numbers at 10 o'clock. Some inflation expectations.
Well, my inflation expectations are high. Greg, you want this GM core that we talked about in MT Live?
The stop's got to go down way down low.
Well, 50 MA, yeah.
Yeah. Need a
So I'll give half lots
need a
done.
copy paste share sizing thing for should be posted in Telegram every day. What a stop means.
I'm looking for it. I know this isn't the one, but here's another reminder of what half lot means. Yeah, can you create that post you want, Greg, and then I'll save it for the future in my template here. But I know you have a link or whatever. I guess I have it somewhere. Yeah, looks higher. You got a 180 reversal here for this big old gap and a void. That's not bad. Manu, we're still in. Let's move stop here. 1566. Yeah, we've been in this hua for a while, but it's such a weird. It's actually head and shoulders now on the daily. Bitcoin moving all over the place. Michael Jackson closes here. At least that's the 180 reversal. Um, wow, NOV gave it. There's my Michael Jackson alarm. NOV gave it up in an ugly way. Oh, Oracle I posted pre-market as a long watch. Shoot, I wasn't watching it. forward. See if there's any puts for next week. 114. 37 cents is all for the 114s. That's crazy low. For $114 stock. Strike. All right, Mohawk, gap's too big. LYB got sloppy. Ooh, whiskey. Go ahead.
SMCI, the biggest volume in calls is at 850. This 820 is could be a little bit of a sticker. If it gets through it, it'll be a good plus. These are expiring today.
I'd rather 720 put spread. $720 is only 20 cents. Remember we did one on this last week and it was like $300 away. I forget, it was something stupid far. RQ not liking. Oh, our SFM is rocking. Nice. Still a third in strength.
Michigan current conditions final, a little bit lower. 5-year expectations up a little bit, but a consensus don't look like much of a big deal.
And the financial media every friggin' day. Maria Bartiromo, all she talks about is interest rates. They should rename her show
That's what the whole world is interested in.
Daily Interest Rate Watch. Reddit alarm. Hey, am I gonna come back? CRI. fried. Oh, I got no interest in, I had an alarm right over here as a potential double bottom, but don't like the big retracement.
Reddit making a turn.
Yeah, that's what I just said. We're in a foot spread, but yeah, I like it. I like it as a directional for next week too. VIX falling. MTUM up alarm. Greg, I have to stop the week's high on MTUM.
That's probably where new sellers would want to come in.
Well, like you say, turning winners into losers like ARQ.
And a lot of winners that were losers for the moment that turned into gigantic winners.
Well, then get in at a better price. All right, well, tell me where you went and stuff. And
Above this area.
182.
I mean, it, it has to start out with that kind of an idea because,
I
if
know
it wasn't share size for that, then you can't do it.
it was, but when you have a beautiful gain from here to here, you're now willing to turn that into a loser?
Well, why not? I wasn't watching, Dan, but okay, why if you sold half, it shouldn't become a loser. You covered half down there.
I covered a third at 173 for a $9 gain.
Okay. Well, if it'll stop there, it doesn't mean it has to come up here. Just, we'll have to see. I mean, it was on this 100 MA with 20 MA on the weekly, like a lot of things were. And, we're getting this little bounce. And now we got to see, how this plays out, creating this resistance. There's no pivot here yet because we don't have three bars. And these kind of patterns often make a higher high. When they make a higher low, I need to draw that like that. It's not uncommon for them to make a higher high, and that's where they roll over. You know, we you know we don't know what it's going to do. We just go by historical patterns, and it's like I was talking this morning about the market. It's like, okay, it got this, defibrillator analogy that I used, and that doesn't change anything as far as our big picture, point of view. No tick extremes. Ticks are positive all on. I don't use 30-minute charts for entries, Rich, but I guess it could work out on the NVIDIA. I mentioned it holding the gap fill, and it's in a downtrend on the daily chart, and it's getting closer to resistance. So I think it's kind of iffy using that. And it won't be a 1, 2, 3 because there's 20 minutes to go in this bar, which you're looking at would be the 2 bar. That 2 bar could be at 875 or whatever by the time that 20 minutes is over. Everybody has their own choice, but for morning trades, 30-minute charts and at times even 15-minute charts are too long if you have a bias from your higher time frames. So for me, that 5-minute chart on NVIDIA, if you look at it and you see the bottoming tail bars that were coming down to the pivot highs from yesterday, communicated that they were buying the dip. And at that point, it took out the high of the day. XLE is weak.
Oh, yeah, well, it's muted. Yeah, yeah, I was saying your GDRX looks good right now. All right, this SFM is finally getting some mojo here. Nice. And Oracle's ripping. I, I didn't chase it. Traveler's still relative strength. Gap down, that's a good sign. Built-in call spread, not liking that one. So, gonna kill that Hilton break even here. Now, IWM was the weakest pre-market, and now look at it. That's that resistance, but had a nice move on the 15 from the open. Intel remains a dog. This Boyd, I've been watching to see if it can bounce. Nothing. Great, this looks good for the ETF next week. Daily, weekly. What is a CalZ? US Cash Cows ETF. Never heard of them. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, I think the other one is more, this one's stronger. It's a little 50, but I think the target is a little less. But it's bullish daily, weekly too.
Hey, Dan, maybe ready for another plunge into marijuana. MJ forming some kind of a long pattern here. And ACB looks even better. Aurora.
Yeah. Look at this monthly chart. Yeah, I mean, we're already in MJ ETF, but yeah, for the advisory letter, sure. 612. Yeah, look at Tilray dog, still a dog. Wow.
Yeah, it's so on support. Maybe it's worth does it have call options?
Yeah,
Maybe going out a month. Maybe it's like a lottery ticket.
all right, let me look. Let me post ACB first.
NVIDIA made it to no, almost to 870.
Ah, puts are massive. Can sell $7 puts for next week. 42 cents. Massive. So I'm gonna start nibbling into these right now. Build 43 midpoint. Ah, shoot, this says 515, and I just took a second ago, this said no earnings available. So I went to TC, and TC shows 612. So here we go. We got a disagreement. Can somebody tell me about ACB earnings? Hey, Adobe starting to roll, building a bottom. 5.9. All right, so that's 3 different dates now. 5.9. Trade station says 5.15. TS says 6.12. Okay, but who to trust, Alex? I just said we have 3 sources. Who do you want to trust?